So here we're going to give some examples of using what's called the quadratic formula, which says that if ax squared plus bx plus c is 0 and a is not 0, then we know the solutions to that for any a, b, and c. So the solutions are x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the idea is to take such an equation, identify a, b, and c, and then evaluate the expression for those values. So the first example is this one, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 is 0. So first, we don't need the quadratic formula to solve this equation. We can do this by factoring. And using the zero product rule, we learned that 2x plus 1 is 0, or x minus 3 is 0. So x is equal to negative 1/2, or 3. But now I'm going to demonstrate using the quadratic formula for solving this equation. So in this case, a is 2, b is negative 5, and c is negative 3. So x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now we just simplify this. This is 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus a negative is plus 24 over 4. So this is equal to 5 plus or minus 49 over 4, which is equal to 5 plus or minus 7 over 4. So that's 5 plus 7 over 4, which is 12 over 4. Or 5 minus 7 over 4, which is negative 2 over 4. So that means x is either 3 or negative 1/2. In this next example, a is equal to 4, b is negative 8, and c is 1. So the solution to this equation is x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 64, minus 4ac all over 2 times 4, which is equal to 8 plus or minus the square root of 48 over 8, which is 8 plus or minus 16 times 3 square root over 8, which is 8 plus or minus 4 square root 3 over 8. Divide numerator and denominator by 4. Distribute that division in the numerator. We get 2 plus or minus square root 3 over 2. So x is 2 plus square root of 3 over 2, or x is 2 minus square root of 3 over 2. In this next example, we don't have it in the form that is most convenient to identify a, b, and c. So the first step is to write it as stated in the quadratic formula. So we'll distribute the x. We will subtract 11 and x from both sides. And now we see that a is 4, b is negative 4, c is negative 11. So x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 a times c is negative 44 over 2 times 4, which is equal to 4 plus or minus 44 is 4 times 11, so we can factor 16 out. We end up with 1 plus 11 over 2 times 4, which is equal to 4 plus or minus 4 square root 12 over 2 times 4, dividing by 4, gives us 1 plus or minus square root of 12 is 2 square root 3 over 2. So x is equal to 1 plus 2 square root 3 over 2, or 1 minus 2 square root 3 over 2. In this last example, we'll look at x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. So in this case, a is 1, b is 2, c is 5. So x is the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 4, minus 4 a times c, which is 5, over 2. So that's negative 2 plus or minus square root of negative 16 over 2, which is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 4i over 2. We distribute the division by 2, we get negative 1 plus or minus 2i. If you like, that's negative 1 plus 2i, or negative 1 minus 2i.